Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. As you see, I have a very special guest, LJ, LTV Productions. How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I want to first give you a shout out and thank you so much. I know LJ from Twitter. He always promotes my videos on Twitter, and I really, really appreciate that. A lot of people don't share other people's content, so I really appreciate that. And then I saw that he had a YouTube channel, so I said, let's get together and talk and do something online. So thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate the invitation to come dish.
So I asked him, I said, what show you want to talk about? Because, I talk about a lot of different things. And he said, let's get into Harlem. So we got I guess, the season finale of Harlem. Let's dig into it. So episode 7, 8 dropped Friday. We didn't get 10 episodes this season. We're kind of sad about that. The way I kind of review it is character by character because I don't take notes. I don't have time to
Okay.
put stuff down. So which character you want to start with?
Well, Camille's always starting off the episode. How about her?
Miss Camille. So we find out this week she really didn't sleep with Jameson. She just fell asleep with Jameson. I'm over it. It would have been more exciting if they would have had a love affair.
Facts, facts. But probably because of how detrimental it could have been towards Camille and Ian since they just got back together. And he was already dealing with ending his relationship with Mira or his soon to be wedding the next day. It'd be like, it's a double whammy. Okay, so I cheated for you, and then you're going to cheat on me. That would have been quite a cluster
It
fuck,
would have
you
been a
know.
mess, but it would have been more entertaining than, oh, I just fell asleep in a tube top so it looked like I was naked. And I rushed home and had to take a shower, but I didn't do anything. I was like, that was a lot
Right.
of drama for me.
Just like even the black backflashes of her touching him and looking like it could have been seductive. They fooled us on that one though.
They fooled us, and oh, okay, Camille is a good girl, but she still lost her man at the end of the episode, and I was over it.
Well, for me, maybe we could discuss it later. I'm glad Camille and Ian are over, and I
Really?
have my yeah. I never, I couldn't see them getting back together, and I didn't like them from last season. Just saw that there was probably unresolved feelings and stuff that they really need to deal with, but I just didn't see them matching. They've grown apart. She was all about her career.
Mm-hmm.
He's back, but he's still all about his career. I don't see any of that type of support that she was looking for by the time she left him at the taxi or whatever, going to overseas in Europe. I don't see any growth or difference in
In their
those two
relationship.
characters.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
It's
right,
like they picked
and
where they left off, and they were already a mess when they left, and so we just gonna pick up at this mess.
right, right. Like, of course, they probably did love each other because they never contacted each other. It was just bye. And she started her career or did her thing and he did his thing. And he came back and oh, now he's engaged, you know? So I think she felt like she was going to miss out on something that should have happened if she had made the choice to go with him. But at the same time, how it was described last year, she was more feeling like she would have to put herself on the back burner. And I
I
think that would have repeated.
Ian and Camille were gonna break up when they got back together. I always saw the end. I thought it was gonna happen by Camille's career, like because she quit. She did that drama with Professor Pruitt and all of that. And I said, well, she gonna have to go to another school. Maybe she gonna have to go out to Kansas to that opportunity she had at first, and she's gonna have to be the one to leave Harlem this time. And Ian's not going to want to leave because now he has a. So I always saw they were going to have another full circle moment. I just didn't think it would be over kids.
Right. Also, I was seeing it. Okay, so every other episode, she's nervous or trying to keep something from Ian. Like,
Hmm.
how are you going to build a relationship off of that? You know, and everything was bothering her concerning the relationship, even concerning just sex and at large. It's like, Lord, calm down, Camille, because she's over analyzing and overthinking. I understand where she was coming from, but it was like she was looking for problems, in my opinion.
Yeah, she was looking for something to be wrong where she should have just been in the relationship, just let it flow. And I don't know. I don't want to criticize people for going backwards because me and my husband met in college and we went backwards later on in life. So I don't feel like it's anything wrong with that, but you do have to meet the person where they are now. You can't meet them
Yeah.
where you were the years ago when you were first together. But I agree. If Camille is the one that's pregnant after this cliffhanger, it's going to be a whole mess.
Oh, I have
Ooh,
my theory, and
yeah.
yeah.
I have a theory too. Let's
Uh-huh.
jump over to Ty because one thing I've been saying through my reviews this season is I don't like the character development on how they progressed some of the characters this season. And Ty was one of them. I felt like her storyline this season was just so unbelievable. Like you left this man and he came back and signed for you to have a surgery and you mad at him when you were the one who ghosted him. Like I never understood the whole I'm getting a divorce storyline from Ty.
Mm. It was strange. I think she all of a sudden now wanted to deal with something as when she basically avoided it all of this time, build her life up as far as business wise, and just forgot. Oh, I'm still married. Like what? Um, I think what dragged the season for her is because her husband did come back and he was upset. He wasn't saying it, but now it was just this revenge that he wanted to take out on her and take half of everything that he had or she had. You know.
I felt like her
Well,
story was a waste because okay, it's to me it's unrealistic for me to forget I'm married for 10 years. Like to me that's something Ty could have wrapped up 8 years ago. I could see you being in this Christian community, you're LGBT, you're running away from that. Okay, it take you a year or two to get your life together, but after 2 years, you should have went back and cleaned up what you had to do with your husband. It just seems unrealistic that you forgot you were married. And then he said it in the beginning, like, I just want to talk. And she just was so angry with his presence that she couldn't see past the red of him just being there, that she couldn't just listen that I don't really want your money, but since you want to make it about money, let's go. And so I just felt like it went too long. And then after they went through all the drama, he tears up the check and giving her shots in the stomach. I said, this just I don't think what to do with Ty. That's what how I feel.
well, I think also her, if you want to call it subplot for the season, was discovering herself because she's been this non-committive, um, really just jumping from person to person for sex and not really taking intimacy, not taking relationships serious. And that's something that she's been void of because he did hit something in her to make her go on this self journey of
Yeah.
herself.
Reflection.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the season, we started seeing something open up for her because as she's hitting brick walls trying to figure out what's wrong with me in regards to how her husband was viewing her, I could see some development there. I mean, now we see her wanting to actually have a relationship that she
Mhm.
says that she was so afraid of doing. And as far as intimacy also, that to me was still unexpected at the end for them to get together. But I won't jump ahead. You know.
We can go there because I was actually writing that in my notes to bring up by the end of episode 8, in my opinion, all the ladies end up single. Now we haven't got to the last two ladies, but so for I don't know the actor's name who played on Half and Half, but I love her with the curly hair.
Truth or Rachel True or something. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah. I was really into her and Ty developing this relationship, Ty finding someone, that she's vibing with, and then bam, you screwing her daughter. And so now it's over. Because of course we can't have that. And I just was like, man, I really wanted to see that. I wanted to see Ty be in a serious relationship with her. And it was like,
Okay, well, first for me, it was unexpected that they were going to actually go on and be in a relationship, her and Amy, because the writers didn't really play it out stereotypically. Because it's like, okay, it looked like they're friends, or I thought something was going to happen. That was her love interest, but it wasn't until episode 7 or 8. Okay, you want to go on a date? Like, there wasn't. It was totally different at how even Ty was conversating with her. She even
mm,
gets into it. What episode 8 about? Oh, I was vulnerable with you, and all of that. And then all of a sudden now, Amy, she opens up and says, "Hey, I like you. Let's go on a date." I said, "Okay, I thought this was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to happen,
I wish-
especially
I
since."
agree. I wish it would have happened sooner, and I wish they would have never threw that daughter in there. Like, let's see Ty have a relationship.
Right. But I can say Zoe, the daughter,
Hmm.
really means nothing to Ty. It was
Yeah,
just sex. Opposed to Amy, I want a real relationship with you and I'm starting to be intimate with you. It's all up to Amy on if she could handle that her daughter was having sex. And also, I mean, she's now, I think, fluid, also handling, okay, so my daughter is gay. I mean, because we don't know any of that backstory on if she knows that
yeah.
about her daughter.
I would think
Mm.
she would know that about her daughter, but if it was you, if those were your shoes to wear, is that something you think you could handle?
That would be uncomfortable. I'd be like, you actually went with my child? What? You was having sex with my child and getting close with me? Yeah, technically we're not together. We're just going on a date, but I'm letting you in. I let you in my house. And now I don't know. I'd have to see. I don't know. And it really from an intellectual, logical, no. Get out of my house. We're done.
That's a
You
deal.
know,
breaker. It's
right?
because technically Ty was with your daughter 30 minutes
Before,
before she came back to you.
and she got the goods before you. So
Right.
I was like, okay,
I think that's a deal breaker. If there's a season 3, I don't see Amy or Zoe coming back, but I hope we can see Ty in a relationship. That's
yeah. They
what
pro-
I'm working for.
they'll probably just end up being friends, and probably someone she could really confide into, separate from how she conversates with the other ladies.
True.
Uh, Even though she does have two other best friends from we know earlier in the season, but as far as being queer,
Hmm.
so I don't know. I think it's interesting, if I could say this point, that there are other friends that they actually introduce a little bit, because normally there's always just those core people living single. All you had was those friends, or girlfriends. It was just those friends, you know. And we didn't get to see a lot of the side characters. Like, what else do you do outside of this certain friend group?
I'm happy they did that because that's real life. Like you might have your core set of friends, but then you have other friends outside of that core. You just don't only have these three people forever. Like she was like, that was her cousin. I believe that was Peppermint from RuPaul's Drag Race was her cousin.
Um,
And then she had the two LGBT friends that she wanted to learn how to be in a relationship from. So I like that they introduced more people instead of
yeah,
like this is all they have.
right, right. It's very cool.
Okay, well, we looking for more from you in season three time. Season three. Let's go to my favorite character, and that's Angie because we share the same name.
Oh, okay.
Angie is someone who I also said I'm tired of Angie just being the overly sexual friend, just here for the sex and the jokes. I'm so happy. I'm happy Angie ended up with the man, but the man was crazy.
You think so?
Who proposes after knowing somebody for a week?
Well, who says that you're my girlfriend after 2 dates? Quinn.
Quinn, but you're right. The whole girlfriend thing would have been a no for me as well. I'm a slow person. I like to move slow. I'm not a jump head first, fall in love type of fast type of girl. So all of that with Mike was red flags for me.
Mm. It's hard because we just don't know where it's going. I guess you're kind of looking, okay, so where does something happen with this couple because they're all in this lovey-dovey type of situation. He's saying, I know it's right. I know it's right. I just, and she's feeling that way too. So, of course, I know speed and I'll take my time. I don't know. I would like to see more of that relationship instead of all this, hi, Mike, all the time. It's like, okay, let's see y'all actually operate in a relationship because you want to hurry up and show off your new girlfriend before she was your girlfriend at your birthday party.
He never
So I
showed.
don't.
They've never been on a date. All they've had is sex. They've
Right?
never been on a date.
No, they haven't really. They've had time where they been all lovey-dovey ish outside of sex, but in some type of way, sex is gonna be in the equation for the day. So,
And that's what I want more from Angie. Like, why does she have to have so many body? I mean, and some people have all the sex you want to have, protect yourself. I get it. I don't want to slut shame or make it sound like I'm slut shaming the character, but
yeah,
it's just like there's nothing else to Angie outside of how many penises she could have. It's like that's all they give her to talk about.
true. But think about guys. That's what they do. I think it's kind of just a reversal. Let's see a woman actually just being sex positive. I'll put that word on there. And she's just living her life carefree up to this point beforehand. It wasn't about relationships, it's just about the sex in the moment. And I guess if a relationship happens, it happens. But for now, let's get it on. But now something has gotten a hold of her different this time because she's normally able to even cheat. Like, let's think about what's that movie? Oh, the brothers back in the '90s. Morris Chestnut and who else is in it? Shamar Moore and someone else. It was just like this one person that was able to catch. Oh, Shamar Moore's character. He was done, quote unquote. I don't know if I could say this word, holding around, but he just got this one person, even though that turned out to be bad anyways. But it's just like there's this redirection all of a sudden that comes out of someone that possibly has never really put an importance on having just one person in their life.
Mm. Well, this is also a cliffhanger. Do you think she says yes, or do you think she kicks him to the curb?
I don't think she's gonna say yes. But I don't think she's gonna kick him to the curb because of how invested they are in each other right now. And that was the one that she actually couldn't cheat on.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe at this point, she may just slow down.
She gives
and,
him the
or and,
breaks, like, hold up, slow down.
right, right. But who knows? But how this show works, she could be saying yes today, and then by wedding day, no, I can't do it. That's how they work around here for some reason, as far as the writing.
That again.
So, right. So, I would like them to slow down so that we, as an audience, have a chance to fall in love with them, to be invested in them.
Mm-hmm. I
But
agree. I
yeah.
agree. And last and definitely not least is Quinn. I really enjoy Quinn's character. I really enjoy the story she was telling because I feel like it's a story that a lot of people can relate to. Depression and just sometimes you might need medicine, sometimes you might need a therapist, but people do get depressed, and I'm happy that they explored that storyline. It's just like poor Quinn. I don't know. I just feel so bad for Quinn. Like I was with her with Isabella. I was like, Isabella, you played with her feelings, and I was mad at Isabella. But then it's like, oh, you found this man that you used to date, and y'all gonna explore a relationship again. And then she throws it all away because she wants to find herself, which I guess is a good thing, but you can't find yourself and be happy with the man.
Well, for that situation, we know her track record is that she's in love day two and ready to commit it. And she said before that she scared off a lot of men in her life. Um, it would have been, I don't know. I think at this moment, I do agree that she has to find herself. And I don't think another relationship is going to help her because she's on a different path. She just rushed into what she thought that she was into women. And she was already ready to call Isabella her girlfriend after two dates. And of course
Mm,
they did have sex, but it's like, lady, that's part of the reason why some of these folks are probably just backing off of you, possibly. I don't know what actually happened in every relationship, but it took her down for a while over just, oh, I can't, because she actually was like, I came out for you, I did all this stuff to try to make something else work for me. And I think right now, as far as with Quinn, that she does need to work on herself. This is like a person for real. Some people just use the excuse, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship. I gotta work on myself. No, you just don't want to commit to nobody. Just say that. But I think it's good, at least for her, to find whatever she's looking for. Because when they were in Puerto Rico, I was like, for real, you. Because she remember when Quinn asked her, is this or not? Camille asked her, is this a just a temporary fix? Because all of a sudden she's happy and giddy, and she's like, yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm just one of those people that need to be in love. Is it for real, ma'am? Because something could happen 2 weeks down the line and you're just a mess again. So, what about you that you need to work on yourself? Where is your core foundation outside of the man? And it could also be because of how her mother is to her and how you need to be with a man or somebody to make you happy. And
mm-hmm.
I think that's part of the pressure too. It just hasn't been revealed yet.
I can see that because Quinn has to realize love is not. always on the same level. It goes like this. And you have to be able to find some kind of happiness within you. So when your relationship is on like a down course, you not falling all out, losing it all. And I also said that last week with the depression, and I'm happy they explored it more this week with the medication because I was like, a vacation doesn't cure depression. Like, if we're really going to have a depression storyline, I want to talk about it. I want to explore it. I don't want her just to go to Puerto Rico. And I'm happy, like, that's not realistic. It's
Yeah.
happy they explored it more. I'm happy they touched on the secrets of the Black family. Like, Black families really keep a lot to themselves until the children are older and then they dump it all. You're like, what? And so I felt like that's a good conversation piece with, Black people watching the show. Like, we really do need to talk to our kids about things that are genetic in our families. So it's not a shock to them when they feel it.
Hmm. Hmm. If you look at their family, and we can just flesh that out to other families, but when I see how their family, they're supposed to be perfect. You know, life is perfect for Quinn, at least business wise, friend wise, and all that. So you're going to keep up this front about being perfect, but really you're feeling something else inside. I'm glad that she had this meltdown. For one, it was a way to awaken her, and for us,
Mhm.
for me, to like, okay, it's okay to be not fulfilled or something. It kind of just allowed me not to feel so, let's say I'm not happy with this part of my life, but I should, because you got everything that you're supposed to. It kind of allowed me to just like, okay, let me reevaluate myself. Let me see how I can refocus on something else and not just think that I don't appreciate what I have. It's just not making me happy right now. But as far as depression, like, okay, so she get into another relationship. How does that work with this new person? How are you going, since now you know what it is, what are you going to do on your down days despite medication? What if the
Still
medication,
needs counseling.
she does, it's going to take more, I think, more than just the
It's more than
medication.
just popping pills too, which I wish they would have said that as well. Like, it's nothing wrong if you need medication. Yes, take it. But let's not discredit counseling. Like, Quinn needs to talk to someone. She has issues, especially that mother-daughter dynamic. She needs to work that out with a counselor.
Ah, the mother,
And I
she,
love this Jasmine guy.
yes, a different world.
Yes.
Whitley. No, but for me, the worst episode for her was the Pride episode, where Quinn was just asking at the Pride thing, "Can I have a hug?" You're
Mm.
hugging all these other people. No, no, I'll do that next week. What? And then you're in support of the ex girlfriend at the Pride thing. She just came out to you, whether she's trying to figure out or not. You didn't even invite her to come
And
or
you
anything.
know what the ex-girlfriend did to your daughter, and you're still
Yeah,
like, I'm here for her and I'm not gonna hug you. But then on the flip side, you flying all the way across the world to Puerto Rico to support her, but you couldn't give her a hug when she was in your face. It tricky,
that
tricky writing, like that was a hiccup in your writing, but
right. That's true. Possibly because finally one of her friends spoke up for her and
Angie.
said, "Hey, yeah, yes, Angie," and said, "Hey, look, she's not okay, and I think you need to really check on her." I
Mm,
think, and sometimes hearing an unfamiliar voice will make you check yourself and say, "Oh,"
true.
and because the relationship has been very chaotic. Because what was it? I think episode 5 or 6 is like where they finally hashed out some differences as to what's going on. Quinny, why don't you tell me anything? You shut me out of everything. It was this back and forth of, well, Quinn had some things as far as why are you so hell bent on being in my life to control it, but you don't tell me anything. I didn't know anything about Isabella. I think that was like the fourth or fifth episode or whatever it
Mhm.
was.
Yeah, because she
Yeah,
didn't even know that they were dating or anything.
right. So now I'm trying to fix you up, and you can't even tell me that this is being explored right now. So I think that there has been some accountability on both parts in the relationship. I think the mom just needs to calm down some and listen um, to your daughter. And she keeps telling you, but it's always in a matter of where you guys are almost at that level of arguing, but you guys are always taking digs at each other in a way, you know?
Mhm.
So it, they both need counseling.
Some
And
together counseling.
facts. Yeah. And basically, I do relate most to Quinn. From season one to season two, like I understand her the most. So it's interesting, but you go
I feel
ahead.
like Quinn has the most realistic character on the show for me. That's the most relatable that people really do go through the things that Quinn goes through.
Right. Because she came off kind of bubbly in her own world, kind of like, in a way, like Sinclair, but not as off. But she's had that sheltered life and views things, and everybody's looking at her like, what? Like, why are you coming up with this? Or why don't you know this? And all of this other things is like, it, it can it could be interesting for her to live outside in other people's world while she's in her own world at the same time. And now to find out, okay, I'm really not emotionally there or even mentally there as far as I'm not happy in that way.
Mhm.
So it's interesting to see those layers come be painted for her. I'll say that much.
Mhm. Now, also, she's not a main character, but I love Whoopi Goldberg. I'm happy that she's Professor Pruitt on this show. I
Yeah.
really want a season three and develop more of her character because she was getting ready to get into something with her daughter, and we never really knew quite what was going on. But at the end of the episode 8, a lot of people are looking at Camille like we don't really want to let her go. We don't want to lose her. Jameson, of course, and Dr. Pruitt. What do you think about because when Camille showed up drunk at Dr. Pruitt's house and went off and went
Oh yeah.
I didn't think she ever had a way back in with that character. Like, girl, you fired. Forget this semester and every other semester. You fired, girl. But they let her back in, and of course, she got to complete this semester. Do you
Mhm.
think she'll stay with Dr. Pruitt, or do you think she'll really leave? Um, what did you think about the whole just situation? Starting back from when, let's start from when Dr. Pruitt showed up. And
Mhm.
Camille thought because, oh, now the head of the apartment is black, I'm really going to get this job. And Dr. Pruitt kind of let her know, no, you still need some development. You're not going to just get it because I'm a sister. Starting from there, what did you think about their relationship together to where it is now?
From there, I think it was understandable of what Dr. Pruitt was doing to Camille. It's like you're not there, and you got to come to this level. At least how a lot of professors can be, because they can see a lot of potential in you, but it's not there as of yet, as far as
It
what
was
I
like
expect out of
something of development.
it. Yeah, yeah, and possibly because she was also annoyed by Camille too, because Camille wanted to be so perfect and everything, and it was just coming off like you thirsty, you a try hard, like get out of my face, you
She
know?
was fangirling a little bit. She was a fan of hers as well.
Yeah. So Dr. Pruitt got her to back up off of her. And of course, she chose that other person
Mm-hmm.
who in this season, oh my God, that is so crazy and so scary to happen. But I won't go there yet. I'll stick to what you said. But I think because of how much pressure Camille was putting on herself, and she wasn't getting the results, and she wasn't accepted by Dr. Pruitt as she wanted it to be, that, okay, let me go on and sabotage this. And that's why she ended up having that outburst with Dr. Pruitt, because I really thought season 2 she was going to try to find a new career, because I thought she was done with it all, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, oh my God, I got to get my job back. Like, okay, we'll go along with you, Camille.
Right. It is outside of TV. I don't know too many jobs where you could show up at your boss's doorstep drunk, cuss them out, and then the next day be like, take it back.
Right. Well, how she wagered it out, because Dr. Pruitt was basically, I think about it or whatever, or not really interested, but she wagered it out and said, let me finish out my term, which was going to end in the summer, and then I'll find another job.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a compromise because of how persistent she was with Dr. Pruitt at the time. So, of course, that does not happen in real life. Come on.
And then she turned out needing her because I always thought it was a bad idea to put the student in charge of the teacher. I was like, this not gonna end well. But I ain't like the whole
Yeah.
catfishing as a black. I did never thought that student was black in the first place, but it's TV.
Right.
I never
And
thought
some,
that was a black girl, but okay.
right. So I was like, okay. But at least, I mean, they showed another realistic story. Unfortunately, it happened to a teacher of someone catfishing, but
Mm-hmm.
also uh, um,
Your work.
um, stealing work, plagiarizing, and also opening up all these accounts in your name and cashing all these credit cards, just doing all this manipulation and criminal stuff. And I think that stuff does happen a lot, especially when you open up and trust people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're in New York. Come on, like something gonna go down, possibly.
Well, I hope if there's a season three that Camille stays with Dr. Pruitt because I would like to see more development of their character work together. And I just love Whoopi Goldberg. I think she's amazing in everything
Yeah,
she does.
yeah, because she's kind of becoming the, I don't want to say kind of a replacement daughter or some type of intercessor between what's going on between Dr. Pruitt's daughter and her. And at least this person is showing up for me, giving me some compassion, even if I'm mean to her and say, don't say nothing to me. And but she's around, and my other daughter can't give me the time of day, or my real daughter can't give me the time of day. So,
Do
and I
you
think
think,
that this,
oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, do you think that affected Camille's decision to not want children? Like, because she loves her career and she sees how Dr. Pruitt put her career in front of her family, kind of got her in a bad place with her biological daughter. So maybe she's like, well, I don't want to put my children through that. So maybe I really don't want children. Do you think that affected her career, her decision on children?
Um, I didn't think that way. I think it really has to do with her own upbringing with her mother,
Mm-hmm.
and how she's realizing that she has a lot of the same behaviors as the mom. So, or just possibly just don't want to have children. It could be that simple. Who knows?
She never spoke about not wanting to have children until after they took the test. And then even after the test, she told in the last episode, she was like, I never felt sad about it. But I could have sworn she cried about it and she was upset about it. And that's why she didn't tell Ian because she had to process it. And then it turned into I don't know if I want children until I don't want children. So it just seemed like we didn't really get to see her come to that decision. Or I
Mm,
don't know how she came to that decision.
yeah. I don't remember her crying about it. I think from the beginning, I think that she was always worried about whatever
Yeah, you're right.
Ian had to say, or because that's the perfect life for her and Ian. And first she was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can have children." It was playing off like that, like, and I know that he's going to want it. Maybe she was thinking, "Well, do I want children?" Maybe at that point it just transitioned from that to going into, okay, I don't know if I want to have children, and he wants them, and then she finally made a solid decision and stuck with it and was really grown about it. I don't want any children. Because if you remember, Patricia, that's her name, Quinn's mom,
Mm-hmm.
she was trying to really have Quinn's mom tell her what to do. But Miss Pat, she got up and said, "That's all the advice I have for you right now. You'll know it when you know it. When you'll know it if you want to be a mother or not." So
Mm-hmm. Now
so
let's get to the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers. I want to know, how did they end up in the emergency room? How did everybody end up taking these? How you end up taking the pregnancy test? Somebody is pregnant. Now I have a logical theory of who could be pregnant, and then I also have a fan theory of who could be pregnant.
hmm. What's your thought?
My fan thoughts, I want Camille to be pregnant because I'm like,
Um,
because they keep blowing each other's life up. So it's like we blew our life up to go to France. We blew our life up to ruin this marriage, and you got to pay all this money. And then I blew it up again because I told you I don't want children. And now I got to come back to you in season 3 and be like, well, I'm pregnant. So
another blow up.
another blow up. And then we got to count back the months, because how many months between Jameson and Ian? I don't know. I don't know. But
Right.
that would be my fan, because I feel like that would just be dramatic. But my logical thought is that Quinn is pregnant because she's pregnant in real life. And if they do have a season 3, that can already be her built-in storyline because she's pregnant in real life. And that's her
My
husband. That Keith guy is her husband in real life.
right. My thought is Quinn because I did see Grace Byers is her name. She was pregnant. I just seen her. They were doing this interview, virtual interview, and you can say, "Oh, she's pregnant. Oh, that's got to be the next season's story." I mean, that's the most logical one. We know it's not Ty,
We know it's not time.
and I mean, Lord, if it was Angie, do you
That would
know how
be a mess.
Maury? We got to go there. So I hope it's not, because that's gonna be way too complicated. Way. Um, Camille could be a choice. It just be weird. It's weird because those two just went to the doctor to
Yeah.
check themselves out.
And she
Her
just
and
out
Ty.
she wasn't pregnant. Yeah.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see if it is Quinn, because possibly this is something to ground her in a way that she hadn't had before. Kind of like, I have someone else to care about that's going to love me unconditionally. They're not going to. Oh, she got to deal with her mother issues.
Let's
Um,
not have grandma in your business.
oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it changes, and possibly it could be development for. I call her Miss Pat now. Um, Possibly how she could change and finally impart stuff into her daughter and not be so on her at this point. I don't know, but possibly she could also judge because you don't have a man. Where is your man with this baby? It,
And I can
it
see
could.
Quinn, I can see it being like Keith's baby, and she's still like, I still don't want to be with him, no. And the mom be like,
What is the problem?
but quick question. Have you been watching some of the recent interviews? Quinn isn't there. It's only Camille, Ty, and Angie in all of the recent interviews.
Oh, really? The only one I saw was the other day. It was on Twitter because it was virtual with the whole cast together, and Amy Schumer, originally from Saturday Night Live, she was on there interviewing, and I saw her there along with the whole cast with the writer. I forgot who the writer's name is. Um, that's the only one I've actually seen, and also with her in it. So
Well, maybe she just was missing for those because she is pregnant, so we don't know.
right,
But
right, right.
I hope there's a
Yeah.
season three. Anything else you want to touch on season two that stood out to you?
Well, first and foremost, Prime Video. If you watching this live, double them episodes.
Yes.
We at least 16 to 20, whichever one you're gonna go with. Double it because it's too much. We were done with it in a month. And for me to want, and I am invested, I want to still be invested, and I want stories to play out. And I think that's probably another issue is that they want to flesh out these characters, but I got 8 episodes to do it in.
Or
So
make
give
an hour.
them.
If you want to do 8 to 10 episodes, make the show an hour.
True, 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 true. Yeah. As far as final thoughts, I think. Oh, yeah. Oh, the reason. Well, I already said that I didn't really see it for Ian and Camille. I do want Camille and Jameson together, but this is the question I always ask or say to myself. Well, Jameson is good for Camille, but is Camille good for Jameson? Because he's the opposite of Ian. He's the one that's very supportive and I just love your mind. He's kind of the, if you're like Steve Urkel, Myra Millhouse, whatever her name is, Monkhouse is her name. He's very into her and wanting to
Mhm.
see and push her forward. Can she offer that same support to him? Like, who is she to him?
I don't know. I got an opposite feeling of Jameson. Jameson was presented as this huge person in the field that, was an equal to Camille. But then when it came down to this project and him not being able to even receive the grant unless Camille agreed to be a part of it, it kind of felt like a hanger on. Well, like, I need Camille now. So I want to just work with her because I need her to advance my career. I don't know.
Hmm. Well, the backstory is that he was working on that while they were still together,
True.
and then it came through after they broke up. So that's kind of one of those things where you got to see how the story would go because it's like, as far as signs, it doesn't seem like he's using her or anything because it's always been this push. I haven't seen ego come out of him. As
True. True.
so,
It was just something that he dropped, and I probably could have thought too much into it when he said, like, I can't even get the grant unless you agree to come on. And he didn't tell her that up front. It was like he told her that after she already agreed. So
mhm.
that's what made me think that. But if there's a season three, I don't want to see Camille with Ian or Jameson. Like, give her a fresh man, someone new. Quit backpedaling. Going backwards isn't working for Camille. Let's find someone new.
That's cool. But he's not giving up yet, as we found out. So,
He does,
well,
especially if he found out. But does he want kids? Like, now, when you're in a position of dating, now you have to bring that up to everyone. Like, I don't want to have any kids, and you have to find a man that is agreeance with that.
Yeah, because remember last season. Oh well, he was going to leave, and I think that's when she ended up breaking up with him. But he stayed for her. But it's like in a way he wants to make some type of commitment. I guess we got to know a little bit more if he does want children or would be just happy with him and her. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But either way, she either gonna have to find her a man that already has kids or find her a man that doesn't want kids. Since that, and
True.
she also has the right to change her mind. Like 5 years from now,
Yeah,
they say, "Yeah, I want to have kids."
facts. And that's also another thing. It's like this show lets you know that you have options instead of thinking you got to just travel down this one path. Or I just
Jeannie
changed my
Mai,
mind.
Jeannie Mai told her husband, "No kids." Then she met Jeezy. Now they have beautiful. I believe the baby name is Morocco. So a woman has a right to change her mind.
Even though I side eye that, but but I
Not a,
get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying.
but she changed.
Yeah, she changed her mind. She changed her mind. Yeah,
Mhm.
I I get that, but I do love this show. I'm invested in this show, and um, I've tweeted many times. I've got emotional a lot of times because I've been able to see myself in actually every character, but I relate most to Quinn.
Mhm.
And I said, well, I know I'm a guy, but I'm just going to say that these are universal messages and characters. And I just put what I need for my life as to what's going on with these characters' lives. Because sometimes I could see myself criticizing or being overcritical, like Camille, over some things out of fear. And then sometimes I'm like, Angie, like, when's something going to break for me in certain things that I want to do? And then Ty, I can see myself like, do I want anybody for real? It's kind of one of those things like, do I really want to commit to somebody? So they have been able to send some clear messages to at least get people thinking on certain things, I think. So,
I like the show. It's funny and serious. What do you feel about Run the World? What does Run the World come on? Is that HBO Max?
stars.
Stars, okay. Do you watch that one as
Um,
well?
I did watch that one. I did like that one, but it's been so long now. It's like I
It
did.
doesn't come back. I want to say April.
It is. Oh, okay.
Coming back, I wrote it down in my calendar. I don't know the exact date, but Run the World is coming back. I actually enjoyed that one a little bit better because I just feel like their characters are more realistic in life. Where I think Harlem is a little bit of a comedy too, so it's supposed to be funny as well. But if you ever want to come back when Run the World starts, let me know because we have some people blowing their life up over there too.
Yeah, I forgot the one girl, but basically her marriage, or she's about to get married. That ain't gonna happen no more.
It's not happening.
Come on, no. But
Men that.
I like that they did explore Community D on there. That was interesting to see.
It's interesting, but it's, it's
It's
not
not.
it's not for me. Like if I know my friend has been with that person, I don't really want to be with that person. So
Yeah, just bringing out some realistic things that are going around, even in friend circles. Or
a lot of realistic storylines that we have to get through this marriage thing. We have a couple that's getting a divorce. We have the
Mhm.
teachers dating the student. That dynamic, what's going to happen with that? And I forgot the last one. Oh, I heard she's not coming back. The one who is kind of like Angie, but is a magazine author, but kind of the word
Really?
is sex positive. I heard she's not coming
Wow.
back to season two.
Wow. Um, maybe they'll recast. I mean, it's been
It's
gone for
strange
what?
because Erica Alexander is coming back,
Cool.
but
That'll help.
that'll help. But who's the writer? She was only back because she was the boss of the writer.
Uh, I don't know. I'm going to have to watch it all over again since what it was like fall of
It was
2000 and
so it was a while
yeah, yeah, and they shouldn't have waited this long for that. Sorry.
because it's
So
over and done. They could have released this a long time ago, but I'm not no network executive. I don't know the rules. Uh,
right, right. I mean, I watch some other shows on Star. Do you watch Power and Ghost and all that? So they've been
some
spreading out those shows.
Cent shows. How about that? Because 50 Cent has enough, and I'm over it. It's too many. They could have took some of his shows and put Run the World back out.
Yeah, because well, his current theme is just street life, and I don't understand. Can't there be something else? I mean, it's good, but then like you don't have nothing else. I mean, I know that's what you relate to,
It's
but
only so many gangster stories I care about. Like Power was good. I got into Tariq. Raising Canaan was all right, but then BMF, I'm like, okay, it's only so many street stories I care about.
yeah, I started off with BMF, but I didn't finish it even first season, and um, I'm into Ghost and also Raising Canaan. I like those two,
I like
but
those two. I hated Tommy's. I could not finish Tommy's season at all.
I I didn't even. I tried to watch the first episode. I'm like, no, I don't like you, Tommy, like that. You know, we were invested in him when he was with Ghost at the
With
time.
those, yes. They should have left
Yeah,
Tommy in New York, but Tommy in Chicago is a no. I didn't care for it. So yeah, 50,
yeah,
come up with something different. I mean, not everybody want to be a gangster.
right. Well, he's going to be overseeing Eminem. He's coming out with a TV series based on Eminem's life. Look at you, look.
I mean, we seen 8 Mile. If I want to
Right?
see Eminem's life, I'll go watch the 8 Mile. But I would give it a chance. I just don't. I would give it a chance. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. There's something else he was doing. Now they ended up dropping the fourth book or fifth book. It was supposed to be based upon Lawrence Tate's character.
Lorenz
That's
Tate.
yeah, but it wasn't going to be street. It was going to be political. I was like, okay, good, let's do that. But now they done cancel that, and they're not going to bring it out anymore.
That would have been a good one. I like political shows, so I would have watched. And I love Lorenz Tate. I would have watched that.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I mean, stars. Let somebody
do
else have a
something else.
chance. 50 Cent has enough.
Right, right, right. So we'll see what happens, but we could definitely begin with Run the World. I didn't even know it was coming back out again because I had actually messaged Stars like, when y'all bringing it back? But I didn't get a response.
It's in my calendar because I write down premiere dates so I remember when to start the
Cool.
reviews. So when
Hmm.
I look at my calendar and figure it out, I'll send you a message on Twitter,
Cool. All right.
let you know. But thank you again so much for coming by. This was fun. I
Yeah.
enjoy collaborating with people who enjoy the same shows that I enjoy.
Yes. I enjoy the invitation. I enjoy just talking with you concerning it. And a lot of our opinions match, or we were able to really bounce off of each other on what we thought of this season and all of that. So it's cool.
Great conversation. It was a good time. So we definitely will do this again. Let me know if you want to do anything on your channel. I'll definitely invite you back on my channel. We'll have a good time.
Sure, I still got to get myself together in that way, but I will definitely do that for you.
So tell everybody where they can find you on social media and on YouTube.
Okay. I'm basically on Twitter. I'm on IG, but can't get in there. So look for me at L Train LTV Productions on Twitter, and you can just find LTV Productions here on YouTube. That's it.
Okay. And you can find me everywhere with Kiss My Cheeks TV. It's the same everywhere. So thank you all. Have a great night. We'll see you back when I guess Run the World starts. You heard it here first. He will be back.
Okay.
Bye, y'all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, let me end this.